Hey everybody, Roland here. Just doing a quick video with my initial thoughts on the Tippmann TPX or TIPX at this point, which I have recently acquired through a trade. I ran with a 8.1 on and off for about a year, and really just out of curiosity wanted to try something different, so I wound up trading my 8.1 with 6 mags for a TPX with 11 mags and a holster. A couple things just right from the get-go. I never had any problems with the 8.1 at all. Shot every time I pulled the trigger. It was consistent, and I really liked that marker. I did not trade it for any real reason other than, like I said, curiosity and wanting to try something different and not wanting to actually spend any money trying something different. And number two, I don't always run with the pistol. When I do, I do like to use a pistol as a primary sometimes, but 50 to 60% of the time I'm going to be playing rec ball with my Empire axe, which I also love. Sometimes I pull out a pump, and sometimes I run with the pistol. But in any case, yeah, I just wanted to, I just got this about a week ago, played my first games with it last weekend, and just wanted to make a little video for anybody who's considering, either the Tiberius or the TPX. Maybe some of this will help guide you in your decision. I don't really know, but I definitely have some thoughts on the marker. First up, I really like the way the TPX feels. It's a tad bit lighter than the 8.1. The Tiberius markers, as everybody knows, the grip is very large. It's not something that I had a problem with per se. I have fairly large hands and I wear XL gloves, but the TPX grip to me feels more comfortable. The trigger on the TPX has a curve in it, whereas the Tiberius triggers are straight. And that to me feels a bit more comfortable, as well as the horizontal grooves that are in the trigger definitely feel comfortable. The marker, I left my Tiberius stock. At one point I tried the Lapco 686, I believe, barrel in it. Didn't notice any difference, so I sold it. Other than that, I leave it stock. I pretty much like to leave most of my stuff stock. If it works, cool. Let's leave it like that. So this I'm gonna really try to leave stock. I've read a lot about barrels and people looking for, more efficiency and, better accuracy or consistency at least. This weekend we used Vulcan Redemption paint, which is a paint that I love to use, and I usually don't have any problems with it. I played all day Saturday with it in my axe with an iFit kit with a 679 bore. Brought it out on Sunday. I didn't really size it or anything, and just used it in the TPX, and no breaks, worked great, shot great. So I'm gonna leave the barrel the way it is. CO2 changes is something that I knew I would have to get used to. I had definitely read and heard things about how difficult it is to change the CO2 unless the cartridge is empty, and that's definitely true. There are some mods that you can do that I've seen where people will tap out the hole in the CO2 changer and put a screw in there to get more leverage, or use kind of decoder rings where you can get a rod in there, and basically it's all about getting more leverage. Basically all I did is, since I was getting a little bit over 3 mags out of my CO2 anyway, I'm using Leland's, I would shoot through my 3rd mag, and before I change that out, eject it before I change it, pop off the last of the shots of the CO2, and once that's done, it's a very easy and quick change. Almost, I mean, maybe not surprisingly so given the system, but I was very happy with it, and it's a very easy thing to do on the field. So definitely that's something that I thought I might have to get used to more, but it's pretty easy. The rest of the things with the marker itself, the mag release button, aside from it's small and it's not in a spot that I'm used to, when I first started picking this up and playing with it, I had the tendency to want to press the safety, I think, which is just the leftover muscle memory from the Tiberius. But the mag release button, the mags release very well, very smoothly. As long as you hold, if you hold your hand close and don't let them get past, there's a small notch right there that they can catch on if you don't keep the button released. But, you know, in actual use, just pop them, bam. They slide in and out very easily. The mags themselves, I love the fact that they have followers on both sides, which is something that the First Strike Tiberius mags don't have. I love the fact that they lock right at the bottom without having to put the follower into a notch, which is something that you have to do on the Tiberius. I love the top detent in terms of its kind of retaining strength once the stack is in there, but it is a bit more difficult to use than the Tiberius. One, the spring is a little tighter, and it doesn't have the Tiberius. The rod goes kind of through the mag, and there's a bit of the rod sticking out on each side, so you can easily just kind of pull it back from the outside and dump your tube in. With this, the best that I found is just taking the very tip of your fingernail and pulling that back and kind of sliding the tube past that. It's a bit awkward. Again, it's my first weekend using this, so maybe that's something that will change. But with 11 mags, I'm not really going to be, you know, 11 mags in rec play. I'm certainly not expecting to have to really reload mags too much on the field anyway. I have no idea if I'll even really run with this loadout. I certainly like to have the option for it, but I would also like to build another rig that maybe just fits 3, a very simple belt, which is a cool option to have with the TPX. I mean, a belt with 3 of these mags on it and having one in your marker and then a little dump pouch will be super lightweight, and I would really only just need a belt and no real other support or suspenders or anything. This is the same rig that I used for my 8.1. Same holster, which is a really simple holster, and that fits the TPX just fine. This dump pouch, which fit 5 Tiberius mags and a couple of 8-rounders, fits these 10 TPX mags pretty well, and then I just built this double stack. Pretty simple mag holder here. I definitely have to make some more tweaks to it, but it was very comfortable to use. Still noticeably lighter with 10 TPX mags than it was with 5 Tiberius mags, and had no real problems with it. So I'm definitely looking forward to continuing to use this, and looking forward to an even lighter setup. And you know, like I said, the marker shot great. It was comfortable to use. In general, I think I waste less CO2 because I don't have to set up 6 total mags for it, and then, you know, possibly not use all those mags. You definitely, any CO2 you put in here, you wind up using, so you might save a cartridge or 2 during the course of the day, or 3 or 4, who knows, depends how you play. But yeah, I'm psyched to have this marker, and I look forward to using it more, so I can definitely, you know, recommend it if you're not using First Strikes, and if you want a lighter setup. TPX is definitely a great option. But, you know, as with most things paintball, it's definitely personal preference, so if you get a chance to try them both, try them both. But either way, you know, having come from Tiberius and now having tried out the TPX, I don't think you're going to be disappointed either way. So hopefully that helps a little bit. If you have any questions, comments, definitely leave them below, and have a great day.